Kevin Hicks, 1986, Croydon. He went for eggs, so why never home? Every town has a memory it cannot fully explain. Sometimes it is tied to a place, a street corner, a park, or a small shop that everyone once knew. Years pass, buildings change, families move away, and the world becomes harder to recognize. But one question stays exactly where it was left. In Addiscombe, South London, that question began on a cold Sunday night in March of 1986, when a 16-year-old schoolboy named Kevin Hicks walked out of his family home to buy eggs for a school cooking exam. The errand was ordinary. The shop was nearby. His mother expected him back within minutes. Kevin carried only 1 pound, and according to reports, he left behind the things a person would usually take if they planned to be gone for long. He never returned. What followed was not a dramatic crime scene, not a ransom demand, and not a clear trail leading police toward one obvious answer. Instead, Kevin seemed to vanish into the familiar streets around Croydon, leaving behind a family that would spend the rest of their lives searching for one missing boy and one missing piece of the night. Kevin lived with his parents, Derek and Terry Hicks, and his younger sister, Alexandra, known as Alex. Their home was in the Shirley Road area of Addiscombe, a residential part of Croydon, where short walks to local shops were part of normal life. Lower Addiscombe Road had small businesses, pubs, restaurants, and community shops. Nearby were green spaces like Ashburton Park, where Kevin was known to spend time with one of his hobbies, racing remote-controlled cars. By every public account, Kevin was not a troubled teenager trying to disappear. He was a pupil at John Ruskin School. He was described as happy, friendly, and without serious problems at home or school. He liked music, supported Crystal Palace, and had the ordinary belongings of a teenage boy in the 1980s. His sister later remembered the personal things he left behind: favorite cassettes, clothing, and the small objects that become painful after someone is gone. He was also starting to look beyond school. Reports say Kevin had been applying for part-time jobs in the weeks before he disappeared. That detail matters because it does not fit easily with the idea of someone quietly preparing to abandon his family. Kevin seemed to be moving forward, not running away. But years later, investigators would look back at his life and wonder whether someone outside the family had gained influence over him without anyone realizing it. Sunday, March 2, 1986, began like a normal family day. Kevin spent time with his family at home. At some point that day, he had reportedly been out with his remote-controlled cars, a hobby he enjoyed, and the family dog was with him. Later, the family ate together. They had used the eggs in the house while making Yorkshire pudding, a small domestic detail that would become tied forever to the night Kevin disappeared. That evening, Kevin and Alex had a typical sibling disagreement about whose turn it was to do the dishes. Nothing about it suggested something larger was happening. It was the kind of moment that would normally be forgotten by the next day. But when a person disappears, the ordinary moments before they leave become part of the record. Every word is replayed, every mood is examined, every routine is searched for a hidden warning. Around 8:30 that night, Kevin remembered he needed eggs for an O-level home economics exam the following day. He told his mother he was going to Sparring's community shop on Lower Addiscombe Road. The shop was only a short walk away, close enough that the errand should not have taken long. Kevin took 1 pound and left the house. Some reports placed the time closer to 20 minutes before 9. At first, there was no reason for alarm. A 16-year-old boy walking to a nearby shop in his own neighborhood did not seem dangerous. He had not said he was meeting anyone. He had not packed anything. He had no known history of running away. The family had no reason to believe that a simple errand would become the last confirmed moment they would ever share with him. But as the minutes passed, Kevin did not come back. His mother began to worry. His father, Derek, had been called out for work around 9 that evening and returned later to learn that Kevin was still missing. By then, the brief errand had stretched far beyond what made sense. Derek went out searching by car. He checked the surrounding area, then returned home and phoned Kevin's friends. No one had an answer. No one could say Kevin had decided to stay out. No one could explain why he had failed to call. For the Hicks family, the fear must have sharpened quickly. Kevin was expected home. He had school the next day. He had left without the signs of a planned absence, yet the streets around them gave nothing back. According to Alex, the family could not immediately report Kevin as missing in the way a family would today. Because he was 16, he was treated differently under the assumptions of the time, and she later recalled that the family was told they had to wait. That delay became one of the painful facts surrounding the case. In a disappearance, time can close doors. A witness forgets. A vehicle moves away. A person with information has hours to decide never to speak. The next day, Kevin's description was circulated. He was about 5 feet 10 inches tall, with light brown hair and a distinctive feature that should have made him recognizable. His eyes were different colors, one blue and one hazel. That night he was wearing a red, white, and black Lacoste bomber jacket, dark jeans, and high-tech trainers. Police went to John Ruskin School and spoke with pupils. They searched local areas and followed possible sightings. But the investigation quickly ran into the limits of 1986. There was no useful CCTV trail showing Kevin's movements. There were no mobile phone records to place him on a map, no doorbell cameras, no digital timeline. The case depended on human memory, and memory gave investigators one deeply troubling sighting. Kevin was reportedly seen around 10 o'clock that night in Shirley Road, walking in the general direction of home. That sighting changed the timeline. If Kevin had left home around 8:30 or a little later, and the shop was only minutes away, then where had he been during the missing stretch of time? Why was he on Shirley Road? Had he bought the eggs at all? Had he met someone? Was he alone the entire time, or only when the witness saw him? The person who saw him reportedly knew him, which made the sighting harder to dismiss. From that location, Kevin should have been able to reach home in a short time, but he never arrived. The family searched wherever they could. Derek and Terry followed leads across the country when people claimed to have seen boys resembling Kevin. Birmingham, Glasgow, Edinburgh, and other places were mentioned over the years. Each possible sighting carried the same cruel pattern: hope first, then collapse. In one lead, a boy working in a hairdresser reportedly looked so much like Kevin that police checked his identity. He was not Kevin. The Hicks family also endured strange, silent phone calls. Alex later recalled that during the first months, the phone would ring and no one would speak. The family would ask whether it was Kevin. They would plead into the silence, hoping a familiar voice might finally answer. The calls even reached Terry at work, according to Alex. Whether they were hoaxes, coincidences, or someone with knowledge of the case has never been confirmed. As the investigation continued, one detail from Kevin's bedroom raised new questions. Police reportedly found expensive audio speakers that his parents did not know he had. They did not know where they came from, how he could have paid for them, or who might have given them to him. Years later, this detail fed a darker line of inquiry: whether Kevin had been groomed by someone older before he vanished. That possibility does not prove what happened. It does not identify a suspect, but it changes how the night can be understood. If someone had earned Kevin's trust, the trip to buy eggs may have been more than a sudden school-related errand. Investigators later considered whether it could have given him a reason to leave the house without raising concern. Maybe Kevin still intended to come home. Maybe he believed he was only stepping out for a short time. But if he met someone in that missing window, that person may have been the last to know the truth. Kevin's disappearance was later featured on Crime Watch, bringing national attention to the case. Terry Hicks became connected with other families of missing people, including those affected by the disappearance of Susie Lamplugh. For families like the Hickses, there is no clean grief. Without a body and without a confirmed answer, hope and fear exist together. Every public appeal could bring a breakthrough, or it could bring another false lead that reopened the wound. The years took a devastating toll. Terry Hicks died in 1994 without learning what happened to her son. At her funeral, Alex and her father noticed something that stayed with them. They counted the flowers and cards and later believed another bouquet had appeared. To them, it raised a painful question. Could Kevin somehow have known? Had he been nearby? Or was it only a coincidence shaped by grief and longing? Derek continued searching after Terry's death. He also died without answers. After that, Alex carried the public fight for Kevin forward, keeping his name alive and asking anyone with information to come forward. Then, in October of 1996, a call came into the Croydon Advertiser. An anonymous woman left a message saying she knew where Kevin's body was buried. Police appealed to her to contact them again. She never did. That call remains one of the most haunting details in the case. If it was genuine, it means someone either knew the location of Kevin's remains or had been told by someone who did. If it was false, it was another act of cruelty toward a family already living inside uncertainty. Either way, the call did not solve the case. It became another unanswered door in a corridor full of them. Years later, the Metropolitan Police reviewed Kevin's disappearance. By 2016, investigators publicly said they believed Kevin had been murdered. Detective Inspector John McQuaid stated that Kevin likely met someone that night, was assaulted, and that his body was disposed of. Police offered a reward of £20,000 for information leading to the discovery of Kevin's remains or the prosecution of whoever was responsible. The police theory allowed for the possibility that the killing was not planned. Perhaps an encounter turned violent. Perhaps Kevin trusted the wrong person. Perhaps someone panicked afterward and others helped hide what had happened. What investigators stressed was that Kevin did not simply fade away by accident. They believed people in the local community knew more than they had ever said. Several explanations have been considered over the years. One is that Kevin ran away and began a new life. Alex once held on to the possibility that he may have joined the Army or Navy, perhaps influenced by someone else. That theory preserved hope, but it has serious weaknesses. Kevin left without belongings, never contacted his family, and missed the deaths of both parents, despite their public pleas. Another possibility is that he met someone voluntarily that night and was harmed. This aligns most closely with later police statements and with the concern about grooming. The missing period before the Shirley Road sighting is central to this theory because it suggests Kevin may have gone somewhere or spent time with someone before heading home. A third possibility is a chance encounter with a stranger, but the strange timeline, the reported speakers, and the police belief that he may have been influenced before his disappearance make investigators look closely at whether the danger was already connected to Kevin's life. Some people have also discussed possible similarities between Kevin's case and the disappearance of Lee Boxall from Sutton in 1988. Both were teenage boys from South London who vanished without clear answers, but no confirmed public evidence links the two cases, and speculation cannot replace proof. What remains is a narrow set of known facts surrounded by silence. Kevin left home to buy eggs. He carried 1 pound. He was later seen in Shirley Road. He never made it home. His family received strange calls. An unexplained set of speakers raised questions. An anonymous caller claimed to know where his body was. Police now believe he was murdered. For the Hicks family, the tragedy was not only that Kevin disappeared, it was that time kept moving without him. His parents grew older inside the same question. His sister became an adult, still looking for the brother who left one Sunday night as a teenager. Birthdays passed, Christmases passed. Appeals were made, repeated, and made again. Somewhere, there may still be a person who remembers Kevin that night. Someone may know why he was on Shirley Road. Someone may know who gave him those speakers. Someone may have heard a confession, a rumor, or a detail that never reached police. Kevin Hicks would no longer be the 16-year-old in the family photograph, but in the case file, in his sister's appeals, and in the memory of Croydon, he remains fixed in that final evening, a boy stepping into the cold to run a short errand, expected back in minutes. And until the truth is finally spoken, the disappearance of Kevin Hicks remains a case defined by the cruelest distance of all, the short walk between home and safety that he never completed.